Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of things on the WordPress backend as it relates to constant contact. So the first one is if you have a Gravity Forms and you want to make connections with constant contact that way. It is already set up and connected to the VizArts Constant Contact account, but if you want a specific form to interact with constant contact, you will have to do some what they call a constant contact feed. So right now we only have one Gravity form that is connected to constant contact, and that is form number 31. That's our join our mailing list form. And if you go into form settings, you'll see a constant contact tab. So I got that open right now, and as you can see, there's 9 different feeds right now. And the way it's set up is you create a feed for each one of your options, your mailing list options. So I'll show you the form real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'll show you the form real quick. So there is a feed for each one of these because based on what they click here, we want them to be added to a specific list. So if they click art classes, we want them to go to be added to the constant contact art class list and galleries, etc. So if the option selected is both art classes and galleries, they'll be added to both of those lists because we have a feed set up for both of them, art classes and galleries. And if you notice here, it says that all of them have this list as their option, the all join our mailing list. That list is going to be used to help with first-time user drip campaigns. So you'll want to always make sure you add that to any feed that it would apply to. So if you want, you can add a brand new one. Like if you add a new checkbox on the form, you can add a whole new feed. If you don't like this list that Camps is added to, you can just hit edit. So I will I'll go start from scratch here with an add new just so you can see how that all looks. It's a little bit backwards. Like what I did is you can name it whatever you want, but I personally thought it would be best to name the feed based on which checkbox you're applying it to. And here's why it's backwards. The part where you select the checkbox is all the way at the bottom of this form under opt-in conditions. So what you want to do is you want to enable that. And then you can leave this set to all. And then this next one, you want to select the VizArts department you're most interested in. And so what you're doing is you're saying whenever that checkbox group, so VizArts department you're interested in, is set to, which you pick one of these. So we already have an art class one, but I'm going to add it again just for the sake of this. So you select art classes. So whenever someone does checks the art classes box, then do everything that I tell you to do here. So art classes, I'll call it 2 so that I can delete it afterwards. And then you got all of the constant contact lists here, which they are now in alphabetical order. So you'll find the first one, that all join our mailing list, and then you'll want to find the art classes one, which was called join our mailing list art classes. Now this is important here. When you go to select the second one or third one, etc., you have to hold the control key down while you click on the next one. So I'm holding my control key down and then I'm going to click art classes. If you don't do that, it'll unselect any other list you have. So if I look here, go up, you'll see it's still selected. So I got 2 lists selected right now. And then the final step is to map your fields, which it's only a 4-field form, this particular one. So you set the email address, you set the first name. You don't have a middle name field. You only have first, last, and email address. So you just do the map first name to name first and last name to name last. Those are the only other fields you have. If you wanted to add other fields, you could, and map them accordingly. And then once you got that done, you can hit update settings. So I won't actually save that. Now, if you wanted to edit something, like if we go to galleries and we hit edit, you'll see got the name galleries, and then we got that all list selected, and the galleries list should be selected. So if I wanted to change this, like I'd hold down my control key because I don't want to unselect all of them, and let's say I didn't want to have it as gallery general. I have my control key held down, and then I'll click it. It unselects it, but it leaves any other lists like the all list selected. And then I keep my control key held down and I change it to general interest. So now I got general interest and the all joiner mailing list selected. If I added a new field, I can update it here. Other than that, it looks good, and I still want my opt-in condition to galleries, and then I hit update settings. So that's all there is to that. The only other place we are currently managing constant contact lists are when someone purchases an event through the checkout system. So that's usually a Cocktails and Canvas class or some other sort of class. The way you select which constant contact list goes to which event is by setting it in the event categories. So this is loading up right now. It's a little slow as I'm recording here, but it's under events and then event categories. And once it comes up, you select, I'll show you here, you select the specific category that you want to address. So we got try the wheel here. So we'll hit edit on try the wheel. And there's a bunch of different settings in here, but if you're specifically wanting to do your constant contact stuff, you'll do it here. So constant contact lists, and you can add more than one, just like the other one, except it's a little bit easier to do so. I can just look at this whole list and pick the ones I want, and if I don't like one, I can hit the X and just keep adding away, and then once I get my desired constant contact list, I can hit update. That is all there is to it. You just got to do that for each category that you desire to have a specific list for. In addition to the specific list, every single order gets added to a specific list called all WordPress checkout emails. So if, similar to the way that joiner mailing list all list works, you don't ever have to select that one in here, but it will always go to that list. And again, that'll come in handy for specific drip campaigns that are related